Do you think we're headed for the perfect storm? And if that's the case, which it appears to be, what do you feel? And I'm sure this is a discussion point in your family. What are real life actions that people can take right now to minimize the effects, prepare for it, or even reverse the course that we're on?
I think the first step for me, at least, is the survival. So for instance, with the energy prices here in the UK, if they're going to go up again in October, right, I can't afford that. So I've also got 2 young kids. Okay, so how are we going to survive that? We don't live a big flamboyant lifestyle, so that's not a problem. But in terms of how am I going to heat the house? Log burners, we've got log burners, we'll do this and that. So there's ways of just basic stuff. We've got a garden, right? We'll start planting stuff as soon as we move into this new house. So that's a quick fix basically of how we can keep our heads above water if it all kicks off. The other way I think, which is important, is to spread awareness of it. And I know people go, "Oh, it's too much talking," but you made a really valid point there where people don't wake up to stuff until it happens to them. Unfortunately, and it's very frustrating because if you can see the train coming and you're shouting at someone to get out of the way and they're like, "You're mad," it's frustrating.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the nearer the train gets, sometimes people won't wake up until it's flattened them. But a lot of people, once the train gets close enough where you can start to hear it, people do start to have a look around. And I feel like at the moment we're in a real crossroads with this scenario where people are starting to actually wake up to stuff. And that can make a huge difference because here in the UK particularly, we reached that point with the COVID narrative probably about 6 months ago, maybe a little bit longer actually, where we were at a crossroads. And I remember going on podcasts and having the same conversation. I was like, we're at a point now where people are starting to see it. And now it's, what are you going to do about it, mate? And God love them, what the British people did was stand up and say no chance. And so I think we spoke about this last time we had the chat when they wanted to lock us down for Christmas and the people went, "No way, we're not having it." And, Britain is free, basically, in the most part. There's the odd silly rule in terms of going into a doctor's mask and all that sort of nonsense. But fundamentally, you can do what you want here now. And the only reason that is because people said no. And so, I'm hoping very much that that's something that people are going to do as well. When it comes to, say, energy price and stuff, the people are just going, "No, I'm not going to pay it." I know lots of people that have cancelled direct debits. They're turning off all their electricity for certain periods of the day, every day, because that will hit these energy companies. I mean, these energy companies made billions over the COVID period when everyone was in their house locked down, watching telly, heating on because they were in the house, so they made an absolute killing. And so that's what I'm hoping, is that a little bit more awareness will get out there because more people are starting to ask questions now. They don't know what the answer is. They just know that what they're being told by the television isn't the answer. So what is going on? And if you can kind of, through what you're doing and what we're trying to do here, kind of explain to people, or at least show people a different view, because they're free to make their own mind up. That's the whole point.
Always.
But to be able to go, look, well, what about this? Because like I mentioned earlier, the idea that you're saying there's going to be food shortages, we're paying people not to make food. Okay, again, explain that to me like I'm 5. Mm-hmm. And you say that to the man in the street, the man will go, "Well, that doesn't make any sense." And you go, "Okay, right. So do you think," I know you probably think politicians are idiots and a lot of them are, but do you think they're that stupid? Well, no, I wouldn't think they're that stupid. Right. So why are they doing it then? Well, that's a good point. It's a good question. Right. Okay. Well, let's start having a conversation about it then. And the more people that have that conversation and the more people that are affected by it, because the middle class is taking a battering now, and the middle class has been fine. It's looked down on the peasants a little bit. I'm not quite up there with you guys, but I'm not down there with you. I'm all right. I'm not going to rock the boat because
I'm comfortable. Yeah.
I'm comfortable. We've got 2 cars in our household. We're all right. Whereas now, that up there is coming for the middle class as well. And it's devouring them. The middle class was very happy to sit at home on furlough with the absolute lack of foresight, the fact that while they were sat at home, the businesses they were working for were collapsing, and I think it was Peter Hitchens described it as the longest drawn out redundancy campaign in history. That's exactly what it was. Furlough. That's all it was. And so, again, hopefully that will wake people up because we've got the strength in numbers. And as long as enough people say, "No, I'm not doing it. No, I'm not. It's not happening," then you can pull the whole thing down. And I think you can pull the whole thing down very, very quickly when there's enough of you. which is what happened, like I mentioned earlier, was what happened with COVID here. Because at the beginning of November, Christmas and New Year were going to be cancelled. And it only took a month of people going, no, it's not. And it hit Christmas and everyone went out partying. And it doesn't take a lot. It just takes enough people to say, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not paying those energy prices. I'm not doing that. And then, you've got half a chance. It just feels like a real critical time at the moment on that front.
Now, with inflation officially at 8.6% and climbing, you might be looking for help to achieve financial safety. Call them and Noble Gold's experts will share their knowledge of gold IRAs. And if you're quick, they're giving away an incredible 1/10 ounce American Eagle Gold Proof coin with every qualifying IRA or 401k rollover. You can't go wrong with Noble Gold. Call the team now at 877-646-5347 to find out more or visit noblegoldinvestments.com.